Hello, I'm Dr. Anna. We have been dealing with a lot of losses from the pandemic. People have lost loved ones to the coronavirus. Some lost their jobs. Students lost normal schooling. We all lost social gatherings and our typical ways of life. Other losses, which may not be related to the pandemic, include death of a pet, divorce, breakup, a loved one's serious illness, a loss of a cherished dream. All these experiences can bring feelings of grief. Grief is a natural response to loss. It is the distress we feel when we lose someone or something that is important to us. Grief can include emotional reactions like shock, sadness, and helplessness. It may include physical responses like upset stomach, muscle tension, and fatigue. Grief can also affect our thinking with disbelief, confusion, and preoccupation. Behaviorally, we may cry, withdraw from others, or act in an absent-minded way. Sometimes people try to avoid grief by ignoring the pain. Whereas no one wants emotional pain, ignoring it will only make it worse in the long run. Sometimes avoiding these feelings for too long will cause them to become more intense and to occur unexpectedly. That is how depression and other mental ailments develop. Some people think that it is important to be strong in the face of loss. They may put on a brave front to protect their family and friends. Doing so can lead to more distress and interfere with managing the demands of everyday living. For example, grief can surface unexpectedly and cause one to take it out on others by saying or doing something that they later regret. While grieving is painful, it is a needed and healthy process. When we heal from a physical wound, some pain is expected. In a similar way, grieving is normal after a loss, and it is a necessary step to heal. A person is not weak when they grieve, and one's faith is not lessened when they mourn. In fact, Jesus is described in Isaiah 53:3 as a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And he tells us in Matthew 5:4, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted." So how does the grieving process look like? In 1969, a psychiatrist by the name of Elizabeth Kubler-Ross introduced what became known as the 5 stages of grief. It is important to note that these 5 stages are not intended to be a framework for everyone who mourns. The stages may be experienced in any order, and some people may skip stages in the process. You do not have to go through all the stages to heal, and everyone experiences them in their own timetable. These stages include denial. This is the stage of shock and disbelief. Right after a loss, you may feel numb, have a problem accepting that it really happened, or even deny it. If someone you love has passed away, you may expect them to walk through the door even though you know they're gone. This is also the "if I ignore it, it will go away" stage. There is a denial that the loss has occurred and a wish that nothing has changed. Another stage is anger. There may be resentment and anger even if the loss is no one's fault. If you lost a loved one, you may be angry with the doctors, God, yourself, or the person for being gone. Frustrations may be directed at others for the pain of the loss. Another stage is bargaining. In this phase, a person may try to negotiate to turn a situation around or make a deal to lessen the impact of the loss. For example, to prevent a breakup or divorce, someone may make promises to change. Efforts may be used to undo what has happened, such as a student offering to do extra work to make up for a bad grade. Another stage is sorrow. Deep sadness is felt when mourning begins. You may have feelings of emptiness, despair, desperation, and pain that the loss is real and permanent. One may cry a lot or be emotionally unstable. The good news is when this stage is successfully managed, the person will move toward acceptance. The final stage is acceptance. Acceptance is finding peace with what happened and moving on with life. There's usually new growth in character and identity. Acceptance allows the pain to change us into a more mature, wiser, and stronger person. Grief may come in waves. The feelings can come and go. The stages may overlap and come in any order. You may feel more than one emotion at the same time. Know that your grieving process is natural and unique to you. Everyone goes through grief differently. Allow feelings to emerge in their own way and take as long as you need. People go through grief in weeks, months, and years. Sometimes, even after years of a significant loss, a special event, like an anniversary or birth date, can bring sorrow again. The good news is that a majority of people, about 80%, are able to recover from grief in their own time and in their own way. As long as mourning is not characterized by continual avoiding, constant overthinking, frequently unable to function, or destructive behavior like using drugs, alcohol, or hurting others, then, however you grieve is unique and acceptable to you. Problematic behaviors, though, are signs that help is needed. Talk with a pastor, counselor, or doctor. In part 2 of this video, I will share some strategies for successful grieving. I invite you to view it. Meanwhile, be kind and patient with yourself. Give yourself the space and time to grieve and heal. Accept how feelings may come and that your life may feel abnormal and unreal for a while. Seek help from others who do not judge or tell you how you should feel. Apply good self-care by praying, releasing the pain to God, and taking care of yourself physically. And finally, in accordance to 2 Thessalonians 2, 16 through 17, now may our Lord Jesus Christ Himself and God our Father, who has loved us and given us eternal comfort and good hope by grace, comfort and strengthen your hearts in every good work and word.